So we've talked a lot this morning about the three traits of the successful frontier firm. AI in the flow of human ambition, ubiquitous innovation, observability at every layer of the stack. But at the end of the day, you have to bring the magic to life. You need to have the core cloud platform and all of the services that enable AI to reach millions of customers around the world, unlock that human ambition, and really help deliver on the promises of all of the innovation that we talk about and your ambition. So you need the cloud and AI platform that lights that up, and there is no one better than the man in the red shirt himself. Please join me in welcoming the one and only Scott Guthrie to the stage.
Thank you, Justin. Well, thanks, everyone. It's awesome to be here. Now, everything you've seen so far in this keynote runs on Microsoft Azure. It's the infrastructure that is powering all of the Microsoft Cloud and all of our AI services. And Azure provides both the infrastructure and the cloud platform that you can use to supercharge your organizations and make them frontier. Microsoft has over 70 Azure regions worldwide today and offers data residency in 33 countries, more than any other cloud provider. And we're continuing to dramatically expand our data center capacity so that you can put your apps and your services closer to your customers and employees everywhere around the world. And we're providing clear sovereignty commitments, giving you control over where your data and your AI lives and how it's managed. And we're optimizing Azure to be the world's AI supercomputer, and we're delivering AI innovation across the entire system. Last week, we unveiled our latest Azure AI data center in Atlanta. This Azure data center is the size of 20 football fields and contains hundreds of thousands of the latest NVIDIA Grace Blackwell GPUs. It has the highest density of GPUs of any data center in the world. Let's watch a video of it. Now, this one Azure data center delivers 10 times the performance of the world's fastest supercomputer. And this step change is what's accelerating the next wave of AI model improvement and AI capability breakthroughs. And AI infrastructure like this is also enabling exponential reduction of AI cost. If you look at where we were even 2 years ago compared to today, the price of a model like GPT-4 has plummeted by 93%. And continued infrastructure and model innovation is going to continue to drive cost reductions and in turn enable you to leverage AI for even more use cases. Now, we recognize with all this power and scale also comes responsibility. Microsoft is now one of the largest buyers of renewable energy in the world. And we're on track to meet our goal to have our data centers powered by 100% renewable energy by the end of the year. And this includes the data center you just saw in that video, as well as all the others that we're building around the world. And we're not just using renewable energy. We're also using innovative sustainability approaches to ensure zero water waste. The data center in that video is a liquid-cooled facility, meaning we cool the servers using water as opposed to traditional air coolers. And in this picture here, you can see the liquid chilling system that feeds cool water into the data center. And we use what's called a closed-loop system to ensure that the water is continuously reused with no evaporation or water loss. The initial fill of the water into the system equals only about 20 homes worth of water consumption. And then once the initial fill is done, we'll reuse that water for 6 years without ever having to add any more. With Azure, we're setting a new benchmark for sustainable operations. Now, GB300s are the latest NVIDIA GPUs, and they're the most advanced GPUs in the world. GB300s deliver 11 times the performance of NVIDIA's previous generation H100s and delivers 12 times the performance of AWS's Trainium 2. Microsoft Azure was the first cloud provider to deploy GB300s in the world, and Azure has more GB300s in production than any other cloud provider today. Customers are already running production workloads on GB300s in Azure. Here you can see a cluster with tens of thousands of GPUs in it. Being first to run the latest generation of NVIDIA hardware means that you can train and inference AI models faster, more efficiently, and at a dramatically lower cost. And we're investing in differentiated silicon across both GPU and CPU workloads. Microsoft Azure's Cobalt silicon delivers industry-leading ARM64 price performance compute in the cloud. Cobalt-based VMs provide up to 2 times the performance improvement with .NET apps. And developers from Snowflake, Databricks, Elastic, Adobe, and our own Microsoft teams are already taking advantage of Azure Cobalt in production, seeing up to 45% better performance, which translates into 35% fewer compute cores and VMs needed, which ultimately saves a lot of money. And today we're excited to announce our new Azure Cobalt 200 offering. Azure Cobalt 200 is a major leap forward with more compute cores, more cache, faster memory, and higher performance, all built on the latest TSMC process technology. Cobalt 200 will deliver up to 50% better performance and will be Azure's best price performance VM in the market. Now, all of this Azure infrastructure innovation, AI model improvement, and cost reduction is powering a new era of apps and agents. And it's going to enable all of you in the audience to integrate AI into every workflow and build transformative solutions that weren't possible before. AI leaders and more than 95% of the Fortune 500 are already building differentiated solutions on Azure. This slide here just includes a few of them. Now, one of the companies is OpenAI, who builds ChatGPT. ChatGPT is built on Azure and uses the exact same Azure services that you can use as well. Services like Azure GPU VMs, Cosmos DB, Azure Kubernetes Service, Azure Postgres, and Azure Storage. ChatGPT needs to be able to scale their application tier across tens of millions of compute cores around the world, and they do it with just about a dozen engineers, which is pretty incredible. Now, how do they do that? Well, they do it with AKS, which provides a highly scalable Kubernetes service for cloud-native applications. AKS is a fully managed Kubernetes service available in every Azure region, and it streamlines operations at any scale. AKS offers automated deployments, auto-healing, automatic patching, and built-in security safeguards. And these enable applications like ChatGPT to scale without significant operational resources. And with our new AKS automatic capability, we're making it even easier for teams to get started with Kubernetes. AKS Automatic has built-in best practices for security, reliability, and governance. And it allows you to go from code to fully deployed Kubernetes clusters in minutes. And I'm excited to announce that AKS Automatic is now generally available as of today. Now, data is the fuel that powers AI. Great AI solutions are built on highly capable data platforms. If you want to build a solution like Microsoft Copilot or ChatGPT, you need a database capable of storing petabytes of data, handling trillions of transactions, and supporting limitless growth. And Azure Cosmos DB provides that. Azure Cosmos DB is a globally distributed, multi-model database service with guaranteed millisecond latency and uptime. With Cosmos DB, we've built a database service that can automatically replicate your data to any Azure region around the world to give your users lightning-fast performance, regardless of wherever they're accessing your applications. And with both Copilot and ChatGPT as examples, as users interact with the apps, conversations, prompts, and metadata are stored using Cosmos DB. And this enables these apps to maintain context across sessions for hundreds of millions of users, delivering a natural user experience with low latency and high reliability at truly global scale. Cosmos DB also allows you to elastically scale your storage and performance throughput with zero application downtime. You can start small and scale to exabytes of data and trillions of transactions per day. And you can start with processing, say, just 100 operations per second, and then scale to millions of operations per second if you need to. And best of all, with Cosmos DB, you only pay for the storage and the performance throughput that you actually use. And Azure Cosmos DB delivers incredibly fast response times and 5 nines of availability, meeting the most demanding performance and uptime needs for any application. That's why innovative leaders across industries and around the world are using Cosmos DB to power their most critical apps. This slide includes just some of the logos of companies using Cosmos DB today. Now, we also know that customers want to be able to scale without limits with their relational databases as well. And today, I'm really excited to announce that we're introducing a new cloud-native database solution to our Azure PostgreSQL offering family. Azure Horizon DB enables you to power mission-critical apps with performance and speed at any scale. Horizon DB is fully compatible with Postgres, and it supports scaling out a Postgres database to over 3,000 cores and 128 terabytes of storage. It supports sub-millisecond multi-zone commit latency, and Horizon DB also allows you to build smarter apps using in-database AI, vector indexing, and semantic search, all integrated with Azure AI for seamless innovation. Now, data is everywhere. It's stored in NoSQL databases, relational databases, and unstructured sources. It's in every app, every system, and every user interaction. And while that data holds incredible value, today it's too often fragmented, making it hard to manage and even harder to use effectively. One of the biggest things that we hear from all of you is the need to bring all of that data together into a single cohesive foundation. If you can unify your data, you can unlock better analytics and provide the fuel that powers your AI solutions. And that's where Microsoft Fabric comes into play. Microsoft Fabric is an end-to-end data platform that takes you from raw data to AI and BI value, all in one unified experience. It brings together purpose-built workloads for engineers, analysts, and BI professionals. Earlier in this keynote, Asha announced Fabric IQ, the semantic layer that gives your data meaning. With Fabric IQ, Power BI and Copilot agents can now share the same underlying understanding of your business. And Microsoft Fabric is built on OneLake, our unified AI-powered data lake that brings all your enterprise data together in a single trusted foundation. OneLake provides unified AI-powered data lake for all enterprise data, structured, unstructured, and everything in between. What I'd like to do now is turn it over to Patrick to show a demo of how Fabric and OneLake work in action.
Thanks, Scott. I'm so excited to be here to talk about OneLake. And with all the IQ that we've talked about, I feel like my IQ has gone up just a little bit, all right? I'm Patrick LeBlanc, the data architect at Zava. And earlier in the Fabric IQ demo, Zia showed you how we could uncover product sales, inventory insights across multiple platforms. The reason that worked is because all the data that Foundry was working with was already unified in the OneLake. OneLake unifies all the sources together in a single place. So let me take you on a little tour behind the scenes to show you how we did this. So I'm going to head over to my Fabric workspace, and you'll see that you can take a look at this task flow, and I've mirrored data from platforms outside of Fabric, and I also have a Fabric SQL database as part of the solution. All the data landing in the OneLake. When I click on the Unify model, I'm going to jump directly into my lakehouse. And with Microsoft Fabric, all your data, no matter where it lives, comes together in one place. I've created shortcuts to BigQuery, to Databricks, Oracle, Snowflake, and even SharePoint. Instantly, they all appear side by side in the OneLake. No copies, no movement, just seamless access. Now, if I walked in here and I had a magician's outfit on, you're probably like, what's going on with Patrick? This is not a costume party, but what I'm about to show you is truly magical. I'm going to switch over to my SQL Analytics endpoint, And when I go in this endpoint, what you're gonna see is every table that I created will automatically be available to me. And then what I can do, I could write a simple query with some simple selects and joins, but I decided to write something more complicated, something to really push this engine. I created a CTE with some aggregations and some groupings and some rankings. And when I run this query, what you're gonna see is cross-cloud data unified into one lake with the simplicity of SQL, all in just a few seconds. What we're giving you is, instead of it depends, we're giving you it's done. That's Fabric, that's one lake. Back to you, Scott.
Great. Thank you, Patrick. So the services that we've talked about today in this keynote are incredible for building new AI apps. But we also know that most of you have existing apps that you want to infuse with AI as well. And to do this, you want to be able to modernize these apps quickly. One of the ways we're enabling this is with some of the new capabilities that we're bringing to Azure Copilot. Today, we're announcing 6 new agents in Azure Copilot that help you migrate and modernize existing workloads even faster. Our new migration agent in Azure Copilot helps you create landing zones and gives you the flexibility with both IaaS as well as platform as a service modernization options. So you can move existing on-premise apps to, say, VMs, or you can alternatively use managed platform services like AKS, Azure App Service, and all of our Azure database services. Let's have Bruno show us a demo of Azure Copilot in action. Take it away, Bruno.
Well, thank you, Scott. As part of our push at Zava to become a frontier company, we are focused on using the most modern tech to power our systems. But recently we made an acquisition, and now we need to bring some legacy systems to the cloud. As a Zava cloud architect, I'm using AI to make that happen as fast as possible. I will start with the new Azure Copilot migration agent to modernize these workloads and move them to Azure. First, I will ask the agent to show me the discovered inventory. As you can see, Azure Copilot created a full inventory of everything running on my VMware data center. It has servers, databases, .NET applications, and Java applications. Now, I am going to ask the agent about one specific application I am already familiar with. It is the Java Inventory Asset Manager. This is a Java application currently running with PostgreSQL. The migration agent recommends a pass approach for this workload. The database should move to Azure Database for PostgreSQL, and the web application should be containerized and deployed to Azure Kubernetes Service. Now, I'm going to go and click on Go to Assessment, which opens a readiness report for this Java application. Here we can see the options. We can lift and shift to the virtual machines, or we can use pass. We'll stick with the recommended pass approach for now. Next, I can connect this application with GitHub and have GitHub Copilot assess the code and add insights for modernization. I'm going to request this by creating a GitHub issue to generate those code insights in the background. Now, once on Visual Studio Code, I can see those insights and use GitHub Copilot app modernization to run the containerization task. GitHub Copilot drafts a plan and then executes on it by generating all the artifacts, such as Docker files, documentation, and the container images. At this point, the application is built, containerized, and tested. GitHub Copilot can even deploy the application for us. So here it is, Scott. The application is now up and running on AKS. Thank you. Back to you.
Thanks, Bruno. Microsoft Azure is a global platform, the world's AI supercomputer and an integrated cloud foundation. It provides you AI-ready infrastructure that lowers your costs as you embark on your journey to becoming frontier. I'm looking forward to seeing the great solutions you build with it. Back to you, Judson.
Thanks, Scott.